A leader in the industry of cab-hailing apps, Uber has lost its license to operate in London in the UK. This after the Transport Regulating Authority in London, Transport for London or TfL, refused to grant a new license to the company. The regulator said that Uber is not quote-unquote fit and proper to hold an operating license despite having made a number of positive changes. The regulator said that it was unacceptable that Uber operated with drivers who are potentially unlicensed and uninsured. Originally, Uber had lost its license 2 years ago on grounds of customer safety and improper background checks on the drivers. It was, however, granted a 15-month extension. In September this year, Uber received a probationary 2-month extension. The additional extension expired on the 24th of November. And after its license has been revoked once again, Uber now has 21 days to appeal against the regulator's decision. If Uber chooses to appeal, it will have the opportunity to publicly demonstrate to a magistrate the safety features put in place. The taxi app can continue its operations during this period. London is one of the biggest markets for Uber. The firm employs more than 45,000 drivers in London who now stand at the risk of losing their jobs. Uber's regional general manager, J.B. Haywood, has termed the regulator's decision as extraordinary and wrong, saying that the company will do everything to resolve the situation with the regulator on behalf of its riders and licensed drivers. Let's get in further details now from our correspondent Natalie Powell, who is now joining us live from London. Extension after extension is what Uber has received. In the latest, it still has time to appeal against that decision, but has it taken adequate measures in the last few months to try and put out a strong case?
Well, Uber says that it has made significant changes to confident in giving Uber a license. So Transport for London saying that Uber was not fit and proper, and that the ride-hailing app goes through a pattern of failures, and therefore it has taken this decision. However, this doesn't mean that today Uber is going to stop functioning on London's roads. The company has said it will appeal this decision by Transport for London, and that means that until the appeal proceedings end, Uber can still operate. Of course, Uber, what it needs to do now is in the next 21 days put towards that appeal forward to the courts, and during that time the Uber drivers, estimated 45,000 of them operating in London, will still be able to operate until a final decision is brought down by that appeal decision.
Right, let's also go back to the concerns that were raised 2 years ago and now the concerns that remain. The regulator there, TfL, saying that Uber is not fit enough to resume its services, to continue its services. That's a very serious the very serious charge that has been levied. Bring us more details of what exactly the regulator has found. Background checks on drivers being one of the major points over here.
One of the concerns that Transport for London had actually is that Uber drivers that had had their licence removed or had been taken out of the Uber system were then able to actually reapply using a different driver's credential but their own photo. And of course there are other safety concerns like this that Transport for London, in an independent inquiry that was done through this, that they found through this independent inquiry that simply Uber had not gone far enough to try to dispel some of their concerns over this. Uber, meanwhile, of course, have said that actually they've done a lot of work on this and that many of these issues that once occurred no longer occur. So, as you can see, Uber very adamant that it is working hard to ensure passenger safety. We've seen a number of safety measures being put in the app itself, and cracking down on any unauthorised drivers that may actually be operating in this. But certainly from this independent inquiry, Transport for London still not fully convinced at this stage that Uber has done enough to try and get itself a new licence in London. Transport for London is able to give a licence to ride-hailing apps like Uber for up to 5 years, but saying that it is not willing to do that on this occasion because those safety issues have still not been addressed to the full extent that it's needed.
All right, so trouble there mounting for Uber in London, which is one of its biggest markets. We're going to leave it there for the moment. Natalie, of course, coming back to you as and when further updates trickle in.